Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Naisha if this is your first time here, and in today's video we're going to be doing a quick look with the Morphe OG Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. As you can see, mine is beat up. These are the colors. This is actually one of my oldest, most used palettes. I absolutely love this palette. I love the formula. I love the color story. It's my most traveled palette since I've gotten it in 2017. I got this in the original, the first or the second batch when it originally came out. And since then I have not gotten anything else from Jaclyn Hill. And we'll talk about it while we do a quick little makeup look before I go pick my daughter up from daycare. So if you want to see a quick little look with the Jaclyn Hill OG Morphe palette and hear my thoughts on the drama maybe, please keep on watching. Okay, so I'm not going to do anything too complicated. I kind of want to play with these colors over here. If you hear baby noises in the background, the baby is close by and she's always here. She's attached to my hip. Okay, so I wanted to play with these blues and purples around here, and then of course some neutrals in the crease. Okay, so my eyes are already primed with the Urban Decay Primer Potion in Eden, and I'm basically going to go in with these three neutrals in my crease, going from lightest to darkest. So I'm going to start off with the lightest one as my transition color. This is also a Morphe brush. I'm using this big fluffy brush. It's a Morphe 835, I believe. So we're going to have that lightest brown all over the crease as my transition color. It's going to be a lot of noises because the windows are open. It's 60 degrees here in New York, so not a lot we can do about all the background noise. Anyway, so like I said before, this Morphe palette, the OG palette, I got this when she first came out with it, not the first batch. I always wait with any release. I always wait until there are some reviews and there are some comments on it, so I could kind of make a decision. I rarely, I think I did once, and that was the Too Faced palette, which I'll save for another time. I rarely just, as soon as something is announced, run out and get, right off the bat. I kind of wait to hear opinions, comments, then I decide, because I have so many palettes, I really don't need every single release. But when I did buy this, I didn't have that many. And I remember when I saw her favorite singles video, Jaclyn Hill is who I'm talking about. She did a video about all of her favorite singles, and literally there were a bunch of Makeup Geek and Anastasia, like a bunch of singles, and it basically made up this palette. So she put all of her favorite colors into this palette. So after the first round, it came out, and then of course it was sold out. Everybody's all up in arms because it was supposed to be limited edition. And then they said, you know what, we're going to come back with, some more. We're going to request another batch. And at that point, a lot of people were saying how they really loved the palette. So that's when I decided, okay, I'm going to get it with the second batch. So it was more expensive than the other Morphe palettes at the time. The others were like $25. This was going to be $38. But I used a code, and I think I got it for maybe like $33. I forget the price, which was a lot for a Morphe palette at the time. But still, everybody was talking about how beautiful the formula was and the color scheme. So, and I really liked the color scheme too, with the neutrals and then like the pops of color. So I was all about it. So I was happy to purchase it. I'm going in with the darker brown color, deeper in the crease with a slightly smaller brush. This is also a Morphe 330 brush. Anywho, so I went ahead and I purchased it, and ever since I purchased it, I did not regret it one time. I have traveled with this palette. This is my most traveled palette. Whenever I'm going on vacation, I grabbed this palette because to me it has all the neutrals that I would need, especially when I was traveling for work. I don't need a lot of color. And then if I'm traveling for fun, you know, you don't really spend that much time doing your makeup when you're on vacation. At least I don't. So in the times when I do want to do something a little extra, say for example, I'm going to dinner with my husband, then I have a pop of color if I really need it. But for the most part, you're wearing neutrals on vacation or just throwing a shimmer on your eye or no makeup at all. But this is my most travel palette because I felt it was the most well-rounded for whatever I needed when I did travel. I'm going back in with the bigger brush to blend that second color out. And as you can see, I did all my face makeup already. Of course, because we're just going to focus on the eyes. But then also this palette does not have a lot of fallout. So I don't mind doing my face first before using this palette. Anyway, next I'm going to go with the deepest brown right on the outer V to deepen up that outer V. And just bring it in about halfway to really smoke that out. Anyway, shortly after that, there were a lot of people who were all up in arms because the palette was supposed to be limited edition. And then she said the palette was coming to Ulta and they did some modifications to the packaging where they made the packaging a different material so it wouldn't get as dirty. You saw how dirty mine was. It wouldn't get as dirty. And that they also, I think they did something, maybe they printed the names on the packaging, which to me is not a big deal. I think that's more of a thing for YouTubers to be able to tell people what color they're using. But just as a general consumer, it really didn't matter to me if the names was printed on the palette. So the little plasticky thing that it came with, I tossed that. So I could care less about what the names are. If I'm watching a YouTuber and they point at a color, I think I can figure out what color they're referencing. But that's just me, again. So anyway, that was the first drama that everybody was up in arms because it was supposed to be limited edition and now it's coming to Ulta and they changed the packaging and made it better. So people were upset that they spent their money and they got this subpar packaging, blah, blah, blah. I really didn't think that was an issue because, as I said, I love the palette and it's a really good palette. It performs beautifully. The colors are deepening up. They're sticking. There's no patchiness. If she says this is her proprietary formula, it's a really good formula. Okay, so for the lid, I'm going to do this lighter blue, which I think is Jada, and then this darker blue, and then I'm actually going to put this purple on my lower lash line. I'm going to spray it like I do most, if not all, of my shimmers. And this is going to go on the first half of my lid. Look at how pretty that is. Oh. This palette can do no wrong. Anyway, so that was the first drama that I remember. Everybody was up in arms about the fact that it's no longer limited edition. I don't know why people feel like, you know, they need to be the only people that have a certain thing that is limited edition. Maybe for resale value, they feel like if they want to sell it later on, they can get more money for it. I don't know, but people were up in arms. And it didn't bother me. I figured, you know, more people can have access to the palette. It's a beautiful palette. Why not? So that came and went. And then the next thing that she wanted to release, I think almost a year later, was the vault. And when I saw the vault, I immediately was like, oh, if this is anything like the first palette, the formula, I want it. My best friend, who's a makeup artist, was trying to convince me you don't need it. You have all those colors. But I just love the way that it was curated into different color stories. I'm the type of person, like, when I'm doing my makeup, I just want to pull out one palette and be able to do a look. I don't want to have 3 and 4 palettes just to create a specific look. And I really loved the color stories, how it was separated. So I already had it on my radar. I was going to get it. It was $60 for all 4 palettes. And then with a coupon, I think it was coming down to $49, which I thought was a really good deal. And then, of course, I wait for the reviews. I wait to hear the comments of what's going on. And then, of course, the reviews started coming in. that the formula was nothing like the OG palette, that it was patchy, that, you know, though it completely different to the one that she used in her video. That was, it was just so much drama. So then, of course, when you start watching the videos with the drama, you start going down the rabbit hole, right? And you're watching all the other videos and hearing all the opinions. So immediately that next date, I'm like, I'm not getting it. I really don't even need it. And if it's a problem, it's not performing well, I'm not spending $50 on it. So that was done. I was uninterested in the vault at that point. But of course, the drama kept going and going and going, and they had to recall them, and people wanted to return theirs, and I was just casually sitting by and listening to the drama, already knowing I was not going to purchase it. But, you know, once one person starts, it just starts going downhill from there. So that was that, not purchasing it. I think after that, I was wondering to myself, because after that, there was, you know, she launched her own makeup line with the lipsticks, which I thought were beautiful. And again, I was going to wait for reviews. And there were a couple of them that looked really nice for my skin tone. I was like, I'm thinking, okay, I'll pick it up, I'll try it. And then, of course, here come the reviews, the tsunami of reviews and what's going on and how bad it is and the stuff that's in it. So again, I said to myself, okay, I'm not even going to bother. And then I started asking myself, why is it that this girl is always embroiled in some sort of drama? Every single launch after that, just something went wrong. So I'm asking myself, like, is it bad luck? Is it intentional? As you can see, I'm going over both colors in the middle of my lid to kind of create a third color blue. I started to wonder, like, this has to be intentional. There's no way one person could be that unlucky. Is it? Is there? I don't know. But I already decided, you know what, I'm not even going to bother to pick up anything of hers because I don't want to get any diseases. And I just, you know, there's so many things flying around. You don't even know what's the truth anymore. And then, of course, the second palette drops. Beautiful palette. From the get-go, I knew I was not interested in it because I have a lot of pinky, purpley palettes. And then there's so many other palettes that come up with that particular color scheme. The ColourPop It's All Good palette. I see that Sleek Makeup is coming out with one. And then Oma Beauty is coming out with one that has a very similar color story. And I've been preferring smaller palettes now instead of these bigger palettes. So even before there was any sort of drama, I already knew I was not going to pick that palette up. Gonna dust away some of this fallout. Pray for me that does not stain my face. Anyway, so before there was any sort of drama, I already decided I was not going to pick that up. And then I decided to watch Jen Love's reviews talk about she said something about, you know, the old palette. So now I want to look at it because I'm like, I have the old palette. I love the old palette. What could be wrong with the old palette? And then she talks about sister-in-law bought the old palette, but a newer 2020 version. And it turns out the formula has been modified. And the formula is not as good as this original formula that we all know and love, and that Jaclyn claims is proprietary and she signed papers for. So whatever, apparently all the people who are buying the newer palettes are getting a completely different formula that not only doesn't perform as well, even though they said that they updated the formula for it to perform better, it doesn't perform as well, but also it is no longer vegan. Now, I'm not vegan. You know, I don't mind carmine. I'm not allergic. I'm not sensitive to things. And if I was allergic to a specific ingredient that's typically in makeup products, I would be very diligent to check the label to see if it's in there and if I can use it or not. But I do get people thinking if they change the formula, especially if it went from being vegan to non-vegan, that they should have said something. I completely agree. I'm not saying no. But I'm just saying, if I knew I had a problem with something, You know, if I'm going keto and I'm not eating sugar and I'm not eating carbs, I'm checking the labels to make sure that it doesn't have carbs or sugar. That's me. Anyway, so there's the whole drama that now it's no longer vegan and they didn't tell anybody. Okay, I'm gonna do some winged liner. So now it's no longer her formula. And she's saying that she didn't know that Morphe changed the formula, but she did know that something was going to change. But she didn't know what, and they didn't tell her exactly what was going to change. So that's why my question is, how is it that one person could be so unlucky in this industry? Or I wonder if they're targeting her. I'm starting to think maybe she's being targeted for some reason, because it's just such an anomaly to me. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the purple on the lower lash line. This is such a pretty purple. And then I'm going to blend that out with the transition color. Just soften that up a little bit. For my inner corner highlight, I'm going to go in one of these light shimmery ones. Just going to go on my inner corner and my brow bone. So now I'm going to put on some lashes. These are some Morphe lashes, hot stuff. I got these at the Morphe store. They were on sale for $5. So I bought one pair and I loved it so much. I went back and got the other 4 that were on clearance. So I'll be wearing these a lot. I absolutely love these lashes. So I'm going to be putting on these lashes, these Morphe hot stuff lashes. And in my waterline, I'm going to be using this ColourPop cream gel liner in Prance. And then I'll do mascara and everything and I'll be right back. Okay, and here we are with liner and lashes and mascara. So like I said, I'm wearing the Morphe hot stuff lashes. I'm wearing my Lancome Monsieur Big mascara and the ColourPop Prance in my waterline. And also my lip is another Morphe combo that I've been loving. So it's basically a lip kit that comes with these 3 items. It's the caramel lip kit. So there is the Trendsetter lip pencil and the Boo lipstick, which is a nude, very pretty peachy nude, or I guess caramel nude, and the Chill lip gloss, which is also a very nude caramelly lip gloss. So that's a combo I'm wearing today. It's been my go-to nude for the past couple of days. And for the 3 items, it was $16. And at the time, I used the leap year code. They had a leap year sale going on, so I got 29% off. So I basically paid $10 for these 3 items. That was such a steal of a deal. And from the Morphe lip products that I've used before, I really love their formulas and I've been enjoying it. In general, I like Morphe as a brand. I have absolutely nothing against them. I do feel like they tend to work with a lot of the more problematic influencers, but that's on them. Doesn't matter to me. And I do love and use a lot of their products. And I have nothing against Jaclyn Hill. I just noticed that she seems to always be embroiled in some sort of drama. I hope that somehow goes away. I hope it's not intentional. Maybe she needs some essential oils and some crystals, something, because this girl has a dark cloud over her. Which, you know what, it really doesn't matter because she's a millionaire and I'm not. But I wish her all the love and success. I hope that, like I said, it's not intentional and not a way to get, because you know they say all press is good press, doesn't matter if it's bad. And I hope it's just not, that's not what she's doing and toying with her followers as everybody says that she does. So I'm not gonna say I'm definitely not gonna buy any of her launches. I think the her highlighters went off without a hitch, so that's good. Hopefully in the future, if she does something color-wise that looks promising and has good reviews, I might purchase. We shall see. In the meanwhile, I will continue to use, see, look at this, used and abused. Whew. I will continue to use this palette. I absolutely love it. Don't know if I'll travel with it anymore because I have some smaller palettes that I would travel with that was probably more travel friendly. But I love this palette. I love the formula. I will continue to use it. I hope you were lucky enough to get the original, even though it's a mess, because the formula is spectacular. So, what do you think? What are your opinions on this whole Morphe Jaclyn Hill drama? Do you think it was intentional? Do you think somebody just dropped the ball? Do you think Morphe should do something about it? They have issued a statement kind of apologizing to the consumers and Jen Love's reviews for giving her incorrect information. But let's talk about it in the comments. What is your opinion on this whole debacle? So if you've made it to the end and you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed this look, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.